Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Jana Dukes, and I am so excited that you are with me on this journey of self-discovery. Well, last time we were together, we spoke about health and fitness. Well, today, guys, we're going to continue chapter 4, our masterpiece series, and we're going to talk about girl fights. I mean, have you ever gotten into a fight with one of your friends, or worst case, even your best friend or your sister, and you don't even know what to do? You don't even know how to handle it. Well, today we are going to learn how to handle conflict. And so today we're going to have Pastor Fiona join us, and she's going to teach us all about how to handle conflict. So thank you so much, Pastor Fiona, for joining us. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Hi, my name is Fiona Arthurs, and I'm a licensed and marriage family therapist. So I work with individuals, couples, families, teens, kids, anybody who makes up a family. So that's a little bit about myself.
Well, we are so excited that you are with us, and I know we're going to learn so much. So let's just get started, okay? So, Pastor Fiona, what are the main reasons why people get into conflict?
Well, conflict is just a part of human nature. It's, as long as we're on this earth, there's always going to be conflict because we are all individuals. We're very different, and so conflict arises when we're trying to negotiate power, when we're trying to get our needs met, trying to seek understanding. There's going to be conflict. So conflict is very much a part of life. So it's not the conflict itself; it's how we resolve the conflict that is what is important. So there are many reasons why we get into conflict. One reason is internal conflict. If I have inner turmoil, it's going to be difficult for me to be in a good relationship with someone else. So if I'm unhappy with how I look, how I feel, I'm going to project that on someone else. That's why Jesus told us to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. So I need to have a healthy relationship with myself so that I can have a healthy relationship with others. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. You want to make sure that you are sleeping. You want to make sure that you're eating well, that you're exercising, because even these little things can cause us to be in conflict with other people because we are tired, we're crabby, we're not caring for ourselves, so we're going to get into conflict. It's going to be easy for us to start arguments. When someone says something to me and I'm tired, I haven't eaten well, and I'm not feeling good about myself, I'm going to answer them harshly. Proverbs 15:1 tells us that a soft answer turns away wrath, but harsh words bring about strife, they bring about conflict. So if I'm tired, hungry, not loving who I am, I'm going to answer harshly, and then conflict is going to arise. Another reason for conflict is jealousy and envy. So if I want something that you have that I've not been able to give to myself, or I've not been able to receive from other people, jealousy and envy is going to arise. And if I'm jealous of you, when I interact with you, I'm going to usually be unkind. I'm usually going to gossip about you. So just know when somebody's gossiping about someone else, it really means that they are jealous and they're envious about that person. So that's another reason for conflict. A violation of values is a reason for conflict. So, for example, if I value honesty and you lie to me, or I'll hear that you lied about me, there's going to be conflict because you've violated my values. So that's the reason why people can get into conflict. And usually these values are not necessarily spoken, they're usually unspoken. But after we talk about it, after we resolve the conflict, then we begin to understand, oh, you know what, this person values honesty, this person values loyalty. We learn each other through conflict. So a violation of values is also could also be a reason of conflict. There's so many, but I just want to give you a few.
Wow, there are so many reasons why people get into conflict. But what do you do when you've been offended?
Well, first, you need to acknowledge that you have been offended. Many times it's easy for us to just sweep things under the rug and act as though I'm okay, I wasn't hurt. No, you need to acknowledge that you have been hurt. You need to acknowledge, like, hey, the way that she spoke to me, the way that she treated me was very painful. It was hurtful. Acknowledge that. Give yourself that space to acknowledge the pain and to feel the pain. And that's okay. It's okay for you to feel the pain. You need to acknowledge it. After you acknowledge the pain, then you need to go and forgive that person. Now, it can be talking to that person, or it can just be your own personal journey. So we start off by praying, asking God to give us the grace to forgive, and we forgive because Matthew 6:14 tells us that we need to forgive so that our Heavenly Father can forgive us. So sometimes it can mean writing a letter of forgiveness that you might give to the person or you may not. Individual who has been offended has to forgive, because forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you so that you can be healthy, so that you can be whole, so that you can continue to have good relations with other people. Because when we sweep things under the rug and act like we haven't been hurt and act like there hasn't been any pain, it's eventually going to come out. It's going to come out in the way that you treat yourself. It's going to come out in the way that you treat other people, or even your next friend is going to be paying for somebody else's sins. So that's why you have to forgive. And again, forgiveness does not necessarily involve the person who's offended you. Forgiveness is for you so you can be healthy, so you can be whole. So you want to pray about it. You want to write a letter of forgiveness, and if it's appropriate, you can approach the person and say, hey, when you do this, it hurt me. And I wanted to let you know that I forgive you. Again, even if they never apologize, forgiveness has nothing to do with them.
Wow, I just got two major takeaways: that you must acknowledge the offense and that you have to forgive. And it's not for the other person, it's for you. That is so true, and it's so hard to accept, but it's so necessary. So thank you so much for sharing that. Pastor Fiona, what do we do if we are the offender? Like, what do we do if we hurt someone else? How do we deal with that?
First, sometimes if you've offended somebody, you may not even know that you have offended someone. But the moment you get the slightest inclination that, hey, I might have offended someone, you need to go to that person. First of all, ask God to forgive you for hurting his child. Then you want to go to that person and ask them for forgiveness. And you want to give a proper apology. You don't want to start off and say, well, if I hurt you, or I don't know if I hurt you when I said this. No, you know that you hurt them. Even if you have the slightest inclination, you want to make sure you want to take ownership. So you want to say, I am sorry for the way that I spoke to you. Can you please forgive me? I am committed to doing something, whatever it is, differently. So you give the apology, you own what you did, you ask for forgiveness, and then you share what you're going to do differently in the relationship. Especially, if you're in a good relationship and you just happen to have conflict there, just say, what, I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to think before I speak. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to make sure that I have food in my belly before we have a conversation. So you want to make sure that you're giving a proper apology. Now, as you're giving the proper apology, you also want to understand why you acted that way. What was going on? Was there an unmet need? Were you jealous? Were you envious? Were you just not feeling good that day? You want to understand yourself again, just so you don't repeat the same actions.
Man, that is so good. Yes, we absolutely need to take ownership of what we did and ask for forgiveness and share what we're going to do next time to make sure that doesn't happen again. That action step is so key, because if you want to avoid it, you got to figure out how to not put yourself in that same situation again. Thank you so much. That was so good. Okay, Pastor Fiona, so let's keep going with this. After you have the initial conversation and you deal with it and you guys are moving forward, what are your next steps?
So we know this is a little awkward. So I've asked you for forgiveness, or I've been asked for forgiveness. What happens next? Well, two things. For the person who's been offended, you need to extend grace to that person. Psalm 103 verse 10 tells us that God does not treat us according to what we deserve. So the person has asked for forgiveness. You have forgiven them. You start treating them as though they never once sinned against you. God gives us grace because we wrong God all the time, and he forgives us and he gives us grace. So God gives us grace so we can extend grace to other people. So you don't bring up what they did wrong over and over again. Once you have had that conversation, there's been forgiveness, then you put that to the side, and then you say, you know what? I have forgiven. I'm going to bury their sins in the depths of the deepest sea, and I'm going to now have a relationship with them. Now, sometimes you have to make adjustments. Sometimes there have to be boundaries that you need to set, but you never treat people according to what you feel they deserve, because God does not treat us that way. Now, for the person who has offended someone, you need to take your cues from the person you offended, and then not try to speed up the process. Sometimes there's forgiveness. You've had this conversation, and forgiveness has been extended, and you've received it. Now you still need to wait on cues from the person that you offended. So maybe they used to talk to you 10 times a day, and now they're only talking to you 2 times a day. It's not for you to go and complain, say, "Why? Hey, I noticed that you don't talk to me anymore." No, you take your cues from the person you offended, because sometimes they're still processing, they're still healing. Yes, they've forgiven you, but they're still healing. So you want to take your cues from them. You don't want to speed up the process, and you don't want to act as though nothing ever happened. That's for them to do, and not for you. So take your cues from the person you have offended.
Thank you so much. That was so good and such practical knowledge. Conflict is hard and we go through it all the time. But why is it important for us to have conflict resolution? Why does it matter that we actually try to solve our conflict and to really resolve our conflict? Why is that so important, Pastor Fiona?
It allows us to grow. It allows us, it teaches us communication skills. It teaches us negotiation skills, and we become more mature. We begin to understand ourselves better, and we understand other people as well. So that's why conflict resolution is important. There's nothing wrong with conflict. It's just how we resolve the conflict and how we move on from there. So again, conflict is a normal part of life. We're going to wrong one another as long as we are on this earth, but it's how we do it and how we move forward is what's going to make the difference. Because conflict should make us grow, and we should understand ourselves better. So, hope this was helpful.
Well, thank you so much. We learned so much today, and I know that we're going to have better relationships because of it. So thank you so much, Pastor Fiona. How can everybody follow you on social media?
If you want to follow me, you can follow me on social media, on Instagram, Fiona Authors, or on Facebook, it's Fiona Guti Authors. You can follow me on these pages, but hope to connect with you. Take care.
All right, guys, I just encourage you guys to be sure to follow Pastor Fiona. She has so much wisdom and so much knowledge, and she is amazing. So thank you so much again, Pastor Fiona, for joining us. And guys, we're going to continue learning how to be our best selves and be the masterpiece that God created us to be. So next time we're together, we're going to continue this journey, and I'm so excited to continue it with you guys. Have a great day. Talk to you next time. Bye.